We all love Chimamanda, the author of these popular books, Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun. We all love Chimamanda. She's a literary genius. But when it comes to these geopolitical takes she's making now, I saw a clip of her in an interview talking about the current administration in the United States, saying how it is, you can compare it with what is happening in Nigeria, in our home country here, Nigeria. So I want you to watch the clip and I'll give you my take on that.
When you first were coming to America as a student, that there was something that you were going to access there that you wouldn't have gotten as a student in Nigeria?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I left Nigeria because I didn't want to continue with medical school. So I was in medical school in Nigeria and I kind of fled because I just realized that I would be very unhappy as a doctor. But I also, growing up, and I think this is true for many parts of the world, that we looked to America as the place where things were done as they should be done. And I grew up in two military dictatorships in Nigeria, and so grew up knowing what it is like to be in a country ruled by fear. And so I grew up knowing, for example, that my parents' friends would come to visit, and when they would talk about politics, they would lower their voices. But they were in a house, and we had a large yard, and there was really no practical reason to lower their voices, but they did. And I think that was just symbolic of the larger political landscape. And so for us, things would happen in Nigeria and we would say, oh, just go to America. That will never happen. So America was this ideal. Mm-hmm. And I think for the first few years, America did feel to me like endless possibility, but also something that I could admire. Mm-hmm. Something that I could aspire to, really. And it was... sometimes it would be, I remember the first time I realized that when an ambulance has its sirens on, that people just got off the road. I found that to be the most beautiful thing. I thought, what a wonderful way for a society to function. In Nigeria, that would not happen. Like, even if it became law, I think people would still find ways to just keep driving. They'd be like, that's not my problem. Mm-hmm. I mean, just this wonderful I thought at the time. And so yes, I did. I mean, it no longer is. America no longer feels aspirational to me. Mm-hmm. Because, for obvious reasons, I think the present administration in the US just feels to me like a Nigerian government. It really does feel like America is being governed now by an African big man. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just, people said to me when this present American president won the elections, and people said, oh, do you think maybe you might move back to Nigeria now? And I said, no, because it's now the same thing. There's no difference. I mean, the only difference, of course, is that I don't have to use my generator in America as often as I do in Nigeria because the electricity is fairly constant. So there's no reason to. I mean, the governments now seem very much...
Now, I know we all love Chimamanda. Her fictional works are like, she's a genius when it comes to literature, when it comes to English, and she's always propagating, trying to promote the African culture. That aside, but I think she's still a woke feminist, a very, very lefty woke feminist. Now, ask me, why do I think that? Chimamanda has just been going about criticizing the US government, criticizing the particular Trump government. But this same Chimamanda there was no place she criticized the Biden Kamala Harris government when they put men in women's posts, when they were talking about abortion and every other thing, when they were taking women's rights, putting men in women's safe spaces like bathrooms and other stuff. But no, she's saying that the only difference between America and current Nigeria now is just because when she comes to Nigeria, it's just basically power. She has to use her generator and every other thing. But how can you even compare? Do we really have freedom of speech in Nigeria? But at least you can say America is not perfect, but they have freedom of speech. And this same Donald Trump that you have been bashing is a populist and nationalist, that he won the popular vote. He won the 7 swing states. The last time a Republican did this was during the reign of Ronald Reagan, during the 80s. That was the last time it happened. This was a popular mandate. She's not talking about the unchecked illegal migration coming to the United States, coming to spoil their economy and every other thing. He's not talking about the killings of this illegal immigration. What is Trump's basic message? His message is, I want migration, but let it be legal migration. People can't be waiting on the queue and then people just walk through the southern border. I don't see Chimamanda criticizing the government we have in Nigeria, that we don't even have freedom of speech. The average person cannot even afford to eat twice a day. And he's telling us, if you don't like the US government, if you don't like the country, you think the country is just like Nigeria, come back home. US does not owe you anything. I just hate it when these elites, in the very lives in the first world country, the best GDP, the biggest GDP, the biggest economy in the country, that the biggest free market capitalism ever known to mankind, and you're still complaining. If you think America is so bad, come back to Nigeria and stay with us. If you think America is so bad, come back to Nigeria and stay with us. And you propagate all these Democrat talking points of the media. Trump is this, Trump is that, Trump is Hitler, Trump is that one. What criticism do you have of Kamala Harris? That this person was saying that the person that was being the leader, that almost became the leader of the free world. Her biggest election, her biggest campaign issue was abortion and putting men in women's posts. And being a woman, being a feminist, why is she not, criticizing? I've never seen her criticizing these mentally deranged men that call themselves trans women, entering and destroying female posts. She has never done it. But some way, somehow, you want us to agree that Donald Trump is bad. If Donald Trump is bad and US is bad, come back to Nigeria. Come back to Nigeria, Chimamanda. We all love your literary work, but the current comments you've been giving on geopolitics and USA, it doesn't cut it at all. That's all I'm going to say about that.